What we're going to show you next is 8 different exercises to make your back wider. The reason most people go to the gym is to get width, to look better in a shirt and to look better out of their shirts. I'm here with Lockie Harkin, folks, an up-and-coming bodybuilder who we've seen on Max's Muscle TV before, and he's going to show you how to get it done. Our first exercise is a wide grip pull down. You're not going to believe this, behind the neck. This is all about squeezing. So he's as wide as he can possibly go, and we want him to stop there and count to 3, up. The reason the hands are wide is because we're trying to pull the lats out. We're trying to get everything as wide as possible, so we train wide. You'll see here, his upper lat is fully flexed in this position, which you can't do with any other exercise. You can really feel that, Lockie, because you're holding for 3 at the bottom. Don't be scared to do 12 or 15 reps with this exercise. It's not about going heavy, it's about that squeeze at the bottom where you pop your lats out. Well done, mate. Have a break. With this exercise, you do half the normal weight that you try and do for a lat pull down to the front, or if you've done lat pull downs to behind before without that 3-second pause, cut the weight in half. It's not about the weight. As we say every week, don't let your ego get in the way of your progress. If you try and train heavy with this kind of thing, then it won't work. It's like Arnold said, it's a sculpture. You've built the foundations, you've built the body, now we're trying to refine it and getting the right parts to pop and stick out where you want them, and that's what this sort of training is all about. Our next exercise now, 8 steps to fame, 8 steps to a wider back. As this one here, it's a lat pull down with a difference because we've got a very specific handle. As you'll see, the handles are facing the opposite way. Reach up, Lockie, and grab that, and I'll show you as we go. Now, lean back as we do with a normal lat pull down, which we've seen in other episodes, but we're not going heavy. Once again, pull down, arch your back and squeeze. Now, the reason this works specifically, that outer part of the lat, is because it allows you to rotate your elbows all the way around. We do high reps on this, at least 15 or 20 reps. As you can see, he's doing it automatically now. We've been training together for a while, and he's learning to pause and count at the bottom. And you can see there, when Lockie does this exercise, his rear delts are flexing and his upper lats flexing, and that's what we're trying to target. We're over at the chest supported row, folks, and I always tell you on Muscle TV to do it down low, to grab it underhand and pull it in low. But today I'm going to tell you the exact opposite. Grab it up high, get your elbows up and pull it through like that with a pause at the top. I want you to rotate your elbows that way before you start. Come back, chest out, chin up, and pull it back like that. That's it. Don't let your wrist bend. We don't want the forearm doing any work. Elbows parallel to the floor. Normally when we do a chest supported row, we're trying to work all these muscles down here in the back and to build depth and to build thickness through the middle. This is very specifically targeting all this upper edge of the back, which is what pulls your lats out and gives you the impression of having a wider back. Your shoulder width and your back width are determined by your genetics. You've got to pick the right parents, and you can't go back in time and do that. So the best thing we can do is to find exercises to specifically target and widen the back, widen the shoulder blades, and get your back as wide as we can. With any of these sort of exercises we're being specific with, we need to get up into the 12 and 15 rep range. 3 or 4 sets will be fine. That's good, Lockie. Your form's absolutely perfect. You've learned to freeze up at the end of each movement. That's 15, so we'll go to your next exercise. Our next exercise is a supported chin-up. The reason we use a weight-supported machine is because it allows us to freeze up at the top, flex the muscle we're trying to work, and do a whole lot more reps. Chins are great if you're a lightweight, but for a heavyweight like Lockie, doing free weighted chins on his own body weight on a rack would not allow him to squeeze at the top and hold it there for the 3 seconds, and it certainly wouldn't allow you to get up in that 15 and 20 rep range, which we need to do with an exercise like this. What we need to do is to come up as if you're doing a chin behind your neck, so keep your body forward and hold and down. Stretch at the bottom, come up, squeeze, 1, 2, 3 and down. There's no way you can do that at this 100 kilo body weight on a normal bar behind your neck and hold it there for 3 seconds. 14, and the last one, 15, will make 15 reps, which is the range you should work out with this sort of exercise. Because you're holding it for 3 seconds at the top, you want to select a weight that allows you to stop at the top and completely flex. Have a rest, Lockie, that's great. Sometimes you have to improvise. Not every gym's fully equipped, so sometimes you just have to make stuff up. We know what we're trying to target and we know how to work that muscle, so we've just adapted a crossover cable machine into a lat machine. You've got to get your body straight, so it's straight up and down, and you've got to pull your elbows down into the side with your palms facing up. So palms up, Lockie, pull down and squeeze. 1, 2. If your elbows are facing back towards me, you're doing it all wrong. Turn your hand around, Lockie, like that. Go up, have a good stretch at the top, and come down with your elbows straight into your sides. 1, 2, and flex. So 15 reps for this, Lockie. That's about 13. 2 more. Come down, but I want that 2 seconds at the bottom. 1, 2. Your elbows are starting to splay backwards, which means you're getting tired. Keep them forward. You've got to keep concentrating. 1, 2, and back. Well done. And what we're going to do now is target the lower traps rear delts and upper back from a different angle. Okay, now most trap exercises work the upper trap up here, which is not what we're trying to do. The traps come right down here and we're trying to work the lower trap. So Lockie, hoist that up and we'll show them what we're talking about. We're trying to work this part of the trap here. So chin up, look straight ahead and hoist it up. A specific one, chin up son, don't look down. As soon as you look down, the upper traps kick in, and Lockie's actually more developed in the upper traps than he is in the lower traps. So this is something you can take and practice after today's session, because this really will bring this depth out in his upper back. Okay, you want to use a moderate weight that you can do for about 12 reps with this one. Put it back, mate, that's great. Lockie's one of the lucky ones because he's been been hit with the genetic stick, folks. He's actually quite wide across the shoulders, and you think it's his clavicle width, but it's not just that. He's actually got a ton of muscle on his side delts, and that comes from training specifically and properly. Lockie, let's show him how we do side raises to specifically target the outer head of your shoulder to give you the width that you need to get that barn door wide shoulder look. The elbows are actually getting up higher than the wrist, which is the most important thing. So up there like that, so the elbows are higher than the wrist. And where you see people go wrong is they throw them up in the air and their wrists are higher than their elbows. That's no good. We don't want that. We want to target this outer delt. Just pause for a sec. We're trying to build this cap here on your shoulders, and you can see every part of the shoulder working. Go, Lockie. 3 to 4 sets of 12. You can't go wrong. That's great form, Lockie. Our final exercise in our 8 ways to build a wider back workout is rear delt raise. Now, most people do this wrong. I've set you up a little bit here, son. Just show me how you do them. Show me how everyone does them. Okay, problem with that is you see Lockie's elbows pointing back, the rear delt's not getting isolated. I need you to bend forward, roll your elbows forward, but keep your hands in the same position. And imagine there's an imaginary wall here, and you've got to keep your elbow forward of that. Up you go. Perfect. Now you can see that rear delt flexing straight away. We want to be around the 12 rep range, certainly not too heavy while you're learning how to do them. So when you get to the bottom of the movement, roll your elbow forward and start again, because you'll slip into bad habits very, very easily. You've come up a treat. Now what we've tried to do is to show people how to get their shoulders wider, how to get their back wider. I think we've really achieved that today with some really specific exercise. You feel good?
Feel good.
Pumped?
Yes.
Okay, we've done wide grip chin-ups, which work this part of the muscle. We've done wide grip pull-downs with a different handle, which really built this part of the muscle. We've done wide grip chins on a weight-supported machine, which has worked this whole area here and getting into the lower traps. We've done a wide grip row with a very high grip, which we've never done before, which really worked all these whole areas and got into the lower traps again. We've done a wide grip high pull, which worked the lower traps once again. We've done side raises for the rear part of the delt, and we've done rear delt raises with a twist to try and bring up the rear delts. And they're all the areas you've got to try and specifically hit to try and build a wider back and wider shoulders. Okay, folks, that's it for Muscle TV this week. You've been a great guest, Lockie. All the best with your bodybuilding future. We'll see you later on in the series. And until next week, folks, see you in the gym.
There's no cure for this one!